All right, plug 15%. Soundhound, guys. For those of you guys still in Soundhound with us, I think we're up over 100% now. 6% here. We Ride's having a good one. Hive, good one. Evgo, Guilt at 1220. Joby as well. Boeing doing well. NVX, ON, Ford, OSK doing pretty well. I did make a purchase in my Chase account. So we bought UNH, bought that in the Chase account. We did that day on stream at 227 and caught the absolute bottom. Then, after we legged out of some of that, took the profits and bought SNPS at 390, which wasn't the bottom. It hit 383. But are you an Archer? No, I've been in Joby for a few years. So then we turned around and bought the dip on SNPS. We got it at 390. It actually got down to 383, so that wasn't the bottom. Sold some of that, and then I opened up a new position yesterday. I don't think that this is going to be the bottom for it, because you're not going to get lucky 3 times in a row. But I decided to take the profits and buy Keurig Dr Pepper yesterday at like 26.18 or something. So we're going to see how this plays out. They're going to suspend my account soon. My first ever buy on KDP. How the fuck do you do it? Look at Boeing. Why? What's going on with Boeing? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will take our 45%. No, like I told you guys in the call and again this morning, there were 2 major catalysts for Boeing. It's not like I'm just randomly playing something. Like their largest ever order coming from Uzbekistan, and then also the potential for Turkey to do a huge order with them as well. It just gives them a lot of things. All right, TXN. Yesterday the plays didn't play out that well. TXN, we still got one of those calls left. Do we have anything else? Neo we got into earlier is doing well. Evgo, we sold on Thursday for 100%. Then it dipped. They actually stock tanked like 5% the next day. I was like, holy shit, that was good timing. So we bought the dip on it, and now we're up 32% in 3 days on that. That was a good double dip. That was a really good double dip. Really good double dip there. All right, let me go ahead and leg out of some of these too. I just want to make sure that I just capitalize. I know it seems stupid, but there'll always be another dip to buy. You know what I mean? All right, NNDM still going. Yeah, what was the catalyst for KDP? The reason that I decided, and I bought 100 shares instead of 10 shares. I wanted to leg in. The reason is basically I was looking at KDP, a lot of concern over their new acquisitions. They spent a lot of money to acquire other companies, and that debt is weighing heavy on investors. Are like, well, this is gonna push them as a slow whatever. But I'm looking at market consolidation, and the reason market consolidation is so important is if you do go into a recessionary environment, the reason that that's important is because instead of it being dollars being spread out among many different competitors, they've kind of consolidated. And what happens is when spending does get tight, individual brands will start to lose a lot of revenue because people are spreading their dollars a lot thinner. And so if there's not as much money going to all these, they're going to fall apart. And that what happens is if that happens, competition will continue to like fall off, right? Then KDP, because they've got so many brands, they can kind of like shift money around. You know what I mean? Like to make it seem a little bit better. And by doing that, they're able to sustain longer. And then when their smaller competitors go bankrupt, they're able to not only gain market share from that, but buy up their assets on pennies on the dollar. And so they're kind of creating like a competitor to Coke and Pepsi. KDP is like consolidating enough that they could become a significant market share competitor to Coke and Pepsi, who've owned that space for so long. And so just looking at yesterday's price, I just said, you know what, I'm gonna jump in here. I know that sounds really fucking stupid and like, like I had too much Tylenol this morning, but yeah, that's how my thought process works. So that's why I decided to jump in yesterday. I don't think it's going to be the absolute bottom, but we'll see how it plays out. Yeah, I take my investing more than I like, obviously differently than I do with my trading.